Lord, we ask that you would continue to watch over us, continue to guide our leaders. Bless them, Lord, in the work that they do and their families, Lord, as we come through this season, Lord. We pray that you'd help us to reach out to those in our communities and bless those that we see in need. In Jesus' name, amen.
Supervisor Jones, if you get some pledge.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All St. Patrick, here. Representatives from St. Patrick.
Yes, sir.
Y'all come forward, we'll present this resolution to y'all. I'll read it first.
Are you gonna video or just take stills? Are you gonna video? Video would be great to take stills from the meeting now.
Just come over here.
Yeah, y'all come over here, we'll read it, and then we'll get some pictures and everything. Have a resolution congratulating St. Patrick's Catholic High School Boys Cross Country Track Team on winning the 2025 state Class 3A state championship. Whereas the St. Patrick Catholic High School Boys Cross Country Track Team captured the 2025 3A state championship with a 3-point triumph over St. Andrew's Episcopal School at Choctaw Trails in Jackson on October 30th. Whereas this outstanding team consists of senior individual title winner Joseph Ross, Nathan Pyron, Armando Cadello, Harbor Tavel, Elliot LaPrade, Parker Grimes, and Leon Gavin. And whereas the Fighting Irish are led by Coach Jose Valle, and whereas the win secures the program's 6th straight state championship in 8 and 9 years, the only St. Patrick team to win in history to achieve a 6-peat. And whereas the team's success is a direct result of the immeasurable time, energy, and dedication exhibited by the team and its coach. Whereas this team has represented St. Patrick Catholic High School in Harrison County with distinction and are deserving of congratulations for winning the 2025 Mississippi Boys Class 3A State Cross Country Championship. Now let it be resolved by the Board of Supervisors of Harrison County, Mississippi, that the board, on behalf of the citizens of Harrison County, does hereby express its sincere congratulations to the St. Patrick's Catholic High School Boys Cross Country Team for winning the 2025 Mississippi Boys Class 3A State Cross Country Championship. This all ordered and done this the 8th day of December 2025. Get this, and y'all can turn around and hold it, and we'll.
Congratulations, guys.
Great job, guys.
He wants to challenge you guys in the foot race.
Congratulations.
Hey, coach. Coach. Going in the back. Yes, sir. If you don't.
What's it? And, we need a motion to accept that resolution.
Okay, motion to resolution.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We'll wait a second for everybody to get back in. Come on.
Justin, you can run that one.
Kenny.
Follow along.
Kenny.
I'll go ahead and recognize Vernon Mangum. He wants to present something to the board.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. President, board members, attorney, clerk, fellow members of the city and the county. On behalf of the commander, myself, we want to present Kent Jones, District 4. Please stand, Kent. With great pride and gratitude, the DAB, Robert W. Beard, Chapter 5, is honored to recognize Harrison County Board of Supervisor Kent Jones, District 4, for his significant impact on our community. Your dedication to making a difference has inspired many, and it is a privilege to support your ongoing work. Vernon L. Mangum, MBA, Commander of the chapter.
Thank you.
I will say this, that whatever I do, it's not possible without the board. So I really appreciate the board allowing us to do what we do, and I appreciate y'all support. You're doing a great job.
Yes.
We want to thank, we're not only thanking Kent, we're thanking the entire board.
Oh, yeah.
We really appreciate him supporting our efforts here with the DAV and Gulfport. Thank you so much. This is not only his award, but their award as well. Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Thank you
sir.
so much.
One, two, three. One more. One, two, three. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Vernon. Good to see you.
Appreciate it.
At this time, I'd like to recognize Richard Bouchard to discuss Hayden's Law.
If I may, I'd like to start with a moment of silence for my grandson Aiden, Landon Perry of the Iberville, and the two young men from Pearl River County who were killed on South Mississippi roads last year. I'm Richard Bouchard from Harrison County, and I'm here today to ask you to pass a resolution endorsing Aiden's Law. These provisions came from the circumstances of my grandson's death and research that shows that these issues are brought up year after year in the legislature and don't even get out of committee. But it's no longer about my grandson Aiden. It's about the 700 people killed on Mississippi roads each year. It's about more embarrassing and troublesome statistics about Mississippi. The highest rate of highway fatalities in the country for 11 years now. The highest rate of uninsured motorists. Aiden's Law asks for radar for our sheriffs. 2/3 of the Mississippi crashes occur on rural roads. Every surrounding state lets their sheriff use radars, and they have lower highway fatality rates than we do. The big objection to radar is speed traps. But our sheriffs are not the stereotypes found in the heat of the night and Smokey and the Bandit. They are now experienced, trained, and educated professionals accountable to you and the voters. Aiden's Law asks for the full complement of 650 troopers. We are being shortchanged here in Harrison County with only 26 troopers at Troop K for the 6 southern counties. Based upon the current abysmally low 406 troopers available statewide, our share should be about 67, since we are 1/6 of the population. Again, we only have 26. Aiden's Law seeks proof of insurance to get car tags. Mississippi is in the top 10 states who spend the largest percentage of their income on car insurance, almost 4%. This doesn't sound like a lot, but it could be reduced by having more people in the general risk pool and making those whose behaviors put us at risk rightfully assume the financial burden of the higher insurance rates by getting ticketed with a denser and more effective law enforcement. As in the movie Jaws, we are going to need a bigger law enforcement vote to eradicate the dangers that lurk on our highways. We bemoan the fact that so many of our young people leave the state. We should also bemoan the fact that so many like Aiden, Landon, and those 2 young men remain here permanently as highway fatalities. There is much objection to the highway safety enforcement because of the detrimental effect on tourism. But I would say that is the tail wagging the dog. And they are guests in our house, and for their own safety and ours should follow the rules. If you can't do all of Aiden's laws, please join DeSoto and Jackson County in asking for radar for sheriffs. I will also be speaking to the Pearl River County Board on December 17th. Aiden's Law will eventually come to pass, but each year it doesn't, we can sign another 700 or more people needlessly to their graves. You should be receiving these postcards. Most of them are going to the board in general, but the people in my neighborhood are sending them to Supervisor Powers. So,
I've got a lot. It's powerful stuff.
this mailing campaign also includes postcards to the Lieutenant Governor and the Speaker of the House. And so I want to say, God bless you, Merry Christmas, and please have a safe motoring New Year. On New Year's Eve, the highway fatality counter will reset to 0 for Mississippi, and it will climb by 2 people a day for the rest of 2026. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I would like to mention to the board that this was discussed at the Sheriff's Association Winter Conference. I can't give you an exact number, but I can say, including myself, there's a multitude of sheriffs that are in support of this. So,
Matt,
just so
what I've always been told is one of the reasons it's not been adopted is because counties don't want it. Rather than pass a statewide law, could they allow the board of supervisors to adopt an ordinance in particular counties to use radar as opposed to the entire state?
I
think
that
it would have to be done at the legislative level.
Right, the legislature's gonna have to do it, they just would have to authorize through home rules to allow the boards to individually do it in individual counties, as opposed to all 82 counties. Because I think that's been the opposition in the past. There are some counties that don't want it. There's
Tim,
counties-
what would be the wording if I want to make a motion to do a resolution today
I do a
in support of
resolution
Aiden's Law?
supporting the law and he's got a statement in there that you could just leave it open. A resolution supporting the legislature's addressing the issues of radar being used by Harrison County or by Sheriff's Department to address the uninsured motorist issues in the state, try to reduce fatalities.
Okay. So bills have been introduced with the provisions of Aiden's Law, but never got out of committee. Aiden's Law. I'd like to make a motion, the Harris County Board of Supervisors, to support Aiden's Law.
Second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
With the board's permission, I'll include in there something that says, if you want to pass it for all 82 counties, under home rule, allow the individual county board supervisors to adopt ordinances allowing the use of radar where the board determines it to be appropriate. That way you would eliminate those counties that don't want it for whatever reason. Some of the counties are real rural, and you can understand that, but in the counties such as Harrison County, I mean, we certainly need it. We needed it on Highway 90 this morning when I was coming here. So, some people don't understand 45 does mean 45, not 65.
Okay. So is everyone good with that language?
It wasn't you.
That piece said?
Yes.
And I'll draft up a resolution to put that language in there, maybe.
Municipalities can use it.
Yeah, just the municipalities can.
Municipalities can use the radar.
Yeah.
Jurisdiction of the municipality.
It'd be helpful if you had an additional sheriff's facility to do that also.
All right, I'd like to recognize Kenneth Jones with Home Builders Association Mississippi and Gulf Coast Association of Realtors to discuss rezoning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna step out. If you will, please state your name and address.
My name and address?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, my name is Summer Newman. My address is 2267 Rosewood Lane in Biloxi, Mississippi. All right, so good morning. My name is Summer Newman. I am the current president of the Gulf Coast Association of Realtors. We sincerely appreciate you allowing us to speak today about a very important issue. Today's presentation was developed with input from the Gulf Coast Association of Realtors, Mississippi Home Builders Association, the Mississippi Developers Council, and local business owners who are here with us today. Many others wanted to attend but could not because they are out working to support their families. Between the people in here and outside in the lobby, there are thousands of employees and businesses that are represented today. Housing affordability has reached a crisis point nationwide. These conversations are happening across the country and government at every level and is being asked to be recognized its role in both the problem and the solution. National groups like the National Association of Realtors and the NAHB are actively engaging Congress, and just last month the realtors and home builders met with the Mississippi Senate Housing Committee to address these concerns. This is a serious issue, and it's finally getting the attention it deserves. Too often, planning and zoning decisions are viewed only through the lens of nearby residents, but these decisions also directly impact local businesses, contractors, trade workers, and the families who live and work in Harrison County every day. These groups have seen those that don't want any development show up to so many meetings, and today we want you to know that there are business owners that represent thousands of Harrison County employees that feel differently. Today we're going to talk about the current housing market, the realities of affordability in South Mississippi, and the very real role that government, meaning this board, plays in that outcome. I think we all agree that the zoning process in Harrison County is not working as intended. You've already acknowledged this and begun discussing ways to fix it. Unfortunately, the direction so far doesn't get to the core problem. And if we don't solve that, every other change becomes meaningless. What you'll hear today is not just that the rezoning process is frustrating, it's that it is actively hurting working Harrison County families. It is delaying or preventing home ownership, and it is turning many young people into forever renters. Once we understand who is truly being affected and the real-world impact of these regulations, we can get to the heart of the issues. Only by recognizing the core problem, we can move forward with meaningful solutions and clear next steps. One of the biggest factors driving housing decisions in South Mississippi right now is insurance. Everyone in this room has experienced these rising costs firsthand. Insurance companies are increasingly steering buyers away from older, fixer-upper homes south of I-10 and toward new constructions north of I-10. In many cases, a family can have a lower total monthly payment on a brand new home north of I-10 than on an older existing home south of I-10, purely because of insurance. As this slide shows, the difference between these two policies is just over $3,000 per year, or about $255 per month. When you translate that into a 30-year mortgage, that same monthly amount would allow a family to afford roughly $40,000 more in a home, simply due to insurance costs. When you want to understand why there is so much demand for new houses in Harrison County, this is one of the main reasons. The Harrison County median income is $56,692 a year. This real-world family makes 25% above that number. Jordan and Taylor have good jobs at local businesses. Jordan works at Islandview and Taylor works part-time at Memorial. After their expenses, they can barely afford a $195,000 home, while the average home in Harrison County is $278,000. People often tell young families, why not buy an older fixer-upper? But as we just saw about the insurance in the previous slide, this isn't necessarily a viable option. Because what you could save on the house price, you will pay more for in insurance. Further, you get a brand new home, a warranty, and sometimes even an interest rate buy down. It is no wonder why these families are wanting to move north of Harrison County. The issue is that many decisions that the PC and the BOS have made are preventing these families from being able to afford a home. This real-world young couple in their late 20s recently had a baby, but want to raise their child in a neighborhood. They have good jobs, and together they make $98,000 a year. Since they both work, they must pay for childcare and can only afford a $245,000 home. Not even the average home in South Mississippi. Let me say that again. This couple who make nearly $100,000, 57% above the median home in Harrison County, cannot even afford the average home in our area any longer. That should be a wake-up call to all of us. We are losing young people purchasing homes and building the American dream. The median age of a first-time home buyer in 1985 was 29 years old. Today, it is 40 years old. And the average age of a buyer for all categories is 59 years old. It is honestly mind-blowing. The average age of a home buyer can qualify for Medicare in 6 years. Our homes in Harrison County still look affordable to out-of-state buyers, though, and there has been a huge increase in cash buyers since COVID. While we are grateful and welcome these retirees and other families into our community, increased regulations and zoning decisions are pricing out our children and hardworking families. This widening gap between home prices and local wages is fueling our brain drain that is always discussed here. Your decisions can push young adults away during the very years they should be able to buy a home and establish roots. And too often, the hope is that they might return only later in life, after they've built their careers somewhere else. But that isn't what any of us want. We want our bright kids to stay here and raise families. Next, I'm going to hand it over to David Salters with the Mississippi Home Builders Association.
Thank you, board members. My name is David Salters. My address is 102 Bridgewater Drive in Hattiesburg. And I am not from here, but I have a perspective that I wanted to bring to this board and was asked to bring to this board from my experience as former past president of the Home Builders Association, a builder here in Mississippi, albeit another location. But then also my association with the National Association of Home Builders as far as being a member of the board of directors for many, many years, and actually a lifetime board member with them. This is a crisis that's happening all over the country, but it's also specifically happening here, and it's happening in Hattiesburg, Lamar County, Forest County, but we're here to talk about what's happening here. But if you watch the news, you've seen the affordability crisis, and it truly is turning our young people into renters, where the ability for them to build a significant net worth is hampered. The further that home ownership is pushed down the road, NAR research says that the average renter has a net worth of $10,400. The average homeowner has a net worth of $396,000, which is about a 40-fold increase. And so it's hampering our people all over the state and all over the country. I want to point you to this slide over here, and the key slide is a single-family construction, or key point is that single-family construction is one of the most powerful economic engines the county has. For every 1,000 homes built, it supports between 2,500 and 3,000 jobs. This is NAHB research, and brings in significant tax revenue without placing strain on county budgets. Each new home typically produces $20,000 to $40,000 in upfront local taxes and fees, and then another $4,000 to $8,000 per year in property taxes that help fund schools, roads, and essential services. And we'll touch on that 20 to 40 in just a minute. When the county restricts, on the other hand, single-family construction through overly large lot sizes, zonings, unpredictable rezonings, other lengthy delays. It doesn't just reduce the housing supply, it directly slows the economic growth within the county, costing the region anywhere from 0.5% to 1% of GDP every year. Communities that allow reasonable single-family development see faster growth, stronger tax bases, and a more stability for local businesses and workers. And again, the mentioned home ownership versus a renter citizenship. Let's look at how some current zoning policies, some information was given to me that I was asked to kind of cover, and some recent decisions by the board are directly driving up development costs. There's been some, both in the Planning Commission and this board, I'm told, have denied subdivisions with 100-foot wide lots and half-acre to 1 acre lot sizes, even when water and sewer are available on those at those sites. Especially these decisions have caused the citizens, the builders, the developers here in town to gather here today and beg to be heard. The chart illustrates how the decisions you make force higher lot prices. These increases don't make the developer less money. What happens is these prices get passed on to homeowners, having to account for this, for the higher lot prices, have to account for it in larger homes. And as you saw in the slides that Summer presented, forced young couples and working families a lot of times out of the ability to afford houses. While these increases of $20,000 to $35,000 per lot are significant, you'll see on the next slide how they snowball into drastically higher home prices. So higher lot costs compound directly into higher home prices. Builders typically aim for the lot cost to represent 15 to 20% of the total home cost. To be conservative, when we're making these calculations, we use 20%, but even with that, this chart shows that these large lot mandates are driving home prices up by $100,000 to $175,000. So if you're looking at that third column from the left, where you're looking at one that was $85,000, the cost of a new lot, if you did the math on that, what it would look like for that to be 20% of the home price, you're talking $300,000. You're talking a huge dollar amount there. That's what's pricing things out of the young people, the first-time home buyers. The affordability crisis that's a big piece of what's happening there. Now, sometimes we think that larger lots, those type things, we don't want to use that country feel, but growth is coming, and that's a good thing. But we just got to do it correctly, and we got to do it correctly all over the country. The current policies are doing nothing but creating houses that are only affordable to the high income earners, the rich, if you will, making it 2 to 3 times the median family income in Harrison County, pushing out hardworking Harrison County families and trading them for out-of-state cash buyers. I know it's not the intention of this board, but sometimes the results are unintentional. These zoning policies like these end up pricing certain groups out of the market. And when you see when 100-foot wide lot increase the cost of homes $100,000 to $175,000, it's easy to see how it can be perceived that way, even though it's possibly not your intentions. And you can kind of see what those previous lot costs were before they were turned into to the new lot costs because of the width of the lots and the less lots per the amount of land there. The reality is Harrison County needs a range of lot sizes, not just those affordable to the top 5% of earners. Home builders prefer neighborhoods with multiple lot widths because it gives us a better buyer pool. It creates a healthy mix of income level and produces a traditional neighborhood character that people enjoy. Mixed lot sizes also prevent the cookie cutter look that residents often complain about. Interestingly enough, by just reducing minimum lot widths to 60 feet, many neighborhoods could be priced within the reach of real-world working families, the very people who live and work in Harrison County today. We'll show you some examples of that in just a little while. All right, so on this chart, there's some other regulations that add to the cost of the lot and ultimately a home. One of the main items is new road construction standards that have been recently implemented by Harrison County. The new road standards alone add approximately $4,000 per lot or potentially $20,000 to the cost of the home. Don't want to get too distracted with this information, as we're really here to talk about zoning, but there are other areas that need to be looked at as well if we're going to be serious about the affordability for your residents. Water and sewer, of course, are required to be installed by developer if property is in a certificated utility area, no matter the lot size. Sidewalks, underground power, plethora of government agencies also add additional costs to development that developers did not have to go through in 1970 when many of these larger lot subdivisions were developed in the county. My point is, because there are some large lot developments in Harrison County that were developed a long time ago, doesn't necessarily mean that that can be the definition of affordable lots and affordable houses today. You may think that by implementing standards that the developers just have to make less profit. As a developer myself, I can tell you that it's not worth, the juice ain't worth the squeeze if you can't make a profit on the house. And that's eventually going to, on the lot or the house, and that's eventually just going to be passed on to the homeowner. I had a very wise builder up in Hasburg tell me one time I can sit at home and not make money. And that's what we're starting to see, the lack of development, because the risk just isn't worth the reward. Every business must make a profit. Some people hate to think that a developer would make a profit, but without that, no development's going to happen. So instead of making no profit, these costs get passed along to the home builder. The home builder then passes those costs on to the homeowner, and then here we are with our affordability problem that we're having. Increased regulations isn't penalizing developers or having them make less profit, is exponentially increasing the cost to homeowners where they become just unaffordable. Since COVID, the Mississippi Gulf Coast has seen a huge increase of out-of-state cash buyers for new and existing homes. They're still coming here because it's affordable compared to where they used to live. But these new prices are not affordable to your children, your sons and daughters looking to buy homes, and many Harrison County residents are turning into forever renters. As the Gulf Coast Association of Realtors showed before, the average age of all home buyers has gone from 32 in 1985 to 59 in 2025, and the average age of a first-time home buyer went from 29 to 40. These are disturbing facts that should concern all of us, and we ask that you look at your part and help us to solve this problem.
Kenneth Jones, 919 2nd Street, Gulfport, Mississippi, and I'm here today representing the Mississippi Developers Council. I'm going to talk to you about what's wrong with the current process and propose a solution of how we can fix this problem. So on the graph right there, that's land and road, which we all know has had significant growth over the last 10 years. And I'm just going to show you through this example how broken the current process is. So let's say that I get one of these properties, one of those A1 properties, under contract as a developer. Unless I want to develop 15-acre lots, I'm forced to go through a legal process of rezoning and showing change of character in the neighborhood and a public need, and then also going through the conditional use where we get scrutinized on every single lot size, right? So let's also pretend that I get this A1 property under contract, and I'm going to go above and beyond. I'm going to go above and beyond what's developed out there. I'm going to do half-acre lots. And let's say that the Planning Commission says, that's great. We think that there's definitely been a change in character. We're going to vote to approve it or recommend it to you guys. And then y'all vote to approve it as well because it fits in the change of character in the neighborhood. But at that meeting, there's a couple of disgruntled property owners that live next door to this, and they don't want any development, okay? So even though I developed more than everything else that's around there, the Planning Commission represented or approved it, and you approved it, that disgruntled neighbor can still appeal that decision through the court systems and all the way up to the Mississippi Supreme Court. It costs hundreds of thousands of dollars in delayed cost and legal fees. It's just not proper planning. And until we change things to allow subdivision to be allowed by right in growth corridors, literally nothing else matters. So now let's imagine a world where the county actually has a good plan and shows where they want the growth and how much growth. With that, you could properly plan for traffic and road expansions that are going to happen in the future. Schools can plan on expansions. And we can also plan for fire, drainage, police force, things like that. y'all wouldn't have 150 people calling you every month asking why this person's going through a rezoning and trying to ruin their character of the neighborhood, because we've actually planned and we've shown where this growth's going to happen and about how many houses per acre are going to be allowed. And in this crazy world, the size of the lot is going to be based on the free market, a concept that a lot of us forget. And if we've learned anything, it's that government overreach rarely, if ever, makes things better. And let's not forget the obvious. Bigger lots are not good for the county budget either. Less homes and more roads means less tax revenue for future service and maintenance costs. I know the board has recently issued an RFQ for consultants to create a new comprehensive plan. While I agree that the future land use map needs to be updated, there's no reason for us to spend $1 million on an entirely new plan, especially when the county has not followed the last one. It's truly unfortunate, but I've been through several rezoning processes here, and I can tell you that usually the comprehensive plan is a slide that's just overlooked and it's not even thought about in the rezoning. We have it in there, and the planning commission board doesn't even look at it, when it should be one of the most important slides in determining the rezoning and the density levels that exist on a property. In fact, many other smart development tools like cluster subdivisions, conservation subdivisions, smart growth principles are already in the current comprehensive plan and were never implemented. And it also hasn't historically mattered whether these properties were already in a G2 or G3 growth corridor that was in the comprehensive plan. I've seen just as many of those get denied as approved. And so, as we've discussed, unless the county allows subdivisions by right in designated growth areas, anything else is just a complete waste of time and money. Without by right development, every project becomes political, unpredictable, and more expensive for families who eventually buy these homes. So I started putting together this map with the help of Gulf Regional Planning Commission, and to show where development can happen on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. If new development is going to happen in South Mississippi, there's only so many places that it can go. What this map shows is that basically everything pretty much north of 67 is DeSoto National Forest. You see everything south of I-10, pretty much in Biloxi and past Christian, is wetlands or flood zone. Everything north of the CV base along Canal Road is Turkey Creek watershed and wetlands. And we also have major drainage and floodway areas like the Wolf River, the Biloxi River, and the Chutica Bluff. And while that makes things great for people who live here, I mean, it's unbelievable to have those resources and the property that's set aside for those government uses and fishing and things like that. It makes land scarce when supply and demand. When land scarce, prices go up, right? What isn't shown on this map and is definitely needed for planning is to gray out the other properties that are not within 500 foot of water and sewer. And I think once you gray out the rest of those properties that aren't within 500 feet of water and sewer, many of these other these locations that are showing that they're going to allow for growth are not going to be able to have it anymore. We're going to have very little land that's left that's actually suitable for development in Harrison County. So once we properly plan, we can understand where development can realistically go and update the future land use map accordingly. So let's talk about the true solution of things. Overlay districts and density-based zoning. Using dwellings per acre allows the county to focus on what really matters, overall density. Large lot mandates only make homes less affordable to local residents and try and force more expensive homes. So we don't need to focus on what size the lot is, focus on how many total lots are allowed on a piece of property by acre. The free market will determine how many of each lot sizes are built. And don't worry, there's still going to be plenty of 100-foot wide lots. People want space a lot of times, but only so many people can afford it and are willing to pay for it. Very important to this is by implementing overlay districts, we're not changing the underlying zoning district, and therefore we're not raising the prices and the taxes of current residents. I know that's been an issue in the past. So if we do these overlay districts, we're not changing that underlying zoning district from agricultural to residential. We're just doing an overlay, and therefore their taxes aren't going to go up because we did this. By using the future land use map to create overlay districts, we could say that Landon Road is, that growth corridor is 3 houses per acre. And John Clark Road is 2 houses per acre. And you can go on and on as examples, but that's how this would work. That's how many dwellings per acre. You can also add additional development criteria and incentives to do the things that I constantly hear from residents, planning, and the board of supervisors, like trees, buffers, curved roads, open spaces, things like that. So what does this look like in reality? For both of the next slides, note that the layout for the cluster developments are 80 foot wide. As you can see, by not focusing on individual lot size and promoting sprawl development, the cost of the infrastructure goes way down and allows lots to be developed for much less, therefore allowing homes to also be priced more affordably. There are multiple benefits of this development. Affordability. As you can see, if the development could be multiple lot sizes, 60s, 70s, 80s, then the housing prices for those 60-foot lots could be entry-level homes starting as low as $208,000, which is about where we were showing those affordability for rural people are before. And then you'll still have 80s and 100-foot wide lots for people that are moving up in that same subdivision. It allows the developer to design around flood zones and wetlands and keep open space for residents. It creates a less cookie cutter look. It preserves trees. And lastly, it has less roads and infrastructure to maintain in perpetuity with the same tax base. To me, this just seems like a complete no-brainer. You get all the advantages, not the least of which is better for all tax-paying Harrison County people to have less roads and maintenance without having any more overall property density. All you have to do is change the way that you're looking at things. Just because things have always been done a certain way doesn't mean that's right. I hope these examples allow you to understand how just thinking differently can make housing more affordable for Harrison County residents and not just the rich out-of-town buyers, and all while keeping density levels reasonably. So next steps. The main point, I've now said it a bunch of times, but the main point of this is that by right development has to be a non-negotiable. Not just rezoning, but the conditional use. So until a property zoning or overlay district permits smart residential development by right, every other reform or discussion is meaningless. Everything else, new zoning districts, new comprehensive plans, public meetings, is just a waste of time and money and does nothing to fix the issue. So let's create a commission of local residents, planners, builders, developers, and realtors with a very specific goal. Update the future land use map and determine density levels for G2 and G3 growth corridors to be allowed by right. These G2 and G3 growth corridors in the comprehensive plan already have density levels, but let's assign them to different areas. Individual rezoning hearings have become incredibly contentious. Emotions run high, and no one wants new development next to their home. But if we bring these people together in a collaborative setting, one focused on planning responsible growth for the entire county rather than just an individual parcel, we can establish clear, predictable density levels for each overlay district. This will allow appropriate growth by right in areas that already have the roads, schools, and utilities to support it. I just want to thank you all for your time today and allowing us to be here. There's 3 of us that spoke today, but there's probably 50 people out in the lobby right now that took time on a Monday. They're business owners, and they represent thousands of Harrison County employees and workers. The reason that they came out today is I know you guys have a lot of people that show up to these zoning things, and they wanted to show that there's thousands of Harrison County employees that are dependent upon y'all making the right decisions and stuff, and wanted to see the other side of it. So thank y'all very much, and happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
I have a quick, just 2 things.
Yeah.
First of all, I do love the cluster. I think that's a brilliant resolution. I really do. I love that. It saves trees, keeps wet, where water is. But I have a question. And secondly, you said the word commission twice. I love your idea. On the paper, you say committee. That's all it would be if I vote for that, is a committee, but I love that too. Get everyone involved to spend the whole 6 months mapping that out. So
Yeah.
take the word commission out of your mouth, because
I
that's
don't
not
know why I
mine.
said that.
That's okay, I'm just letting you know,
Yeah.
because we're friends, but yeah, it would be a committee, and I do support that. I just have a quick question about mathematics.
Okay.
And honestly, this is just to educate me. On Harrison County's contribution to affordability issues. Let's see what page that would be, and this will be quick, I promise. I'm sure you can help me make sense of it. At the bottom, River Hills Phase 2, that's in my district, so River Hills Phase 2, just for instance, cost to builder $79,991, so that's about $80,000. And you're saying with a wider lot, and again, I'm not for or against, I'm just trying to
No, I
understand it.
understand. Yeah.
For a wider lot, Kenny, to 100 feet goes up $35,000,
Mhm.
okay?
Wonderful, that.
On the next page, River Hills 2 is saying it would take a house from $399,000 to $577,000. How does that math make sense? And if
So,
it only goes up 35,000, why would you say it goes up 300,000?
yeah, great question. So, basically, the reason it's going up to 35,000 is because you're getting less lots, of course, on the same
Right.
lineal feet of road. So that's how you get to the 35,000. Now, the next slide, the whole point of this one is to show that, so builders only want to pay between 15 to 20% of the lot cost for the total housing price, okay? So that's what the whole point of this slide is that when a house, the lot price itself and the cost of that lot goes up $1,000, it multiplies even more so, because if you have a house, I'm trying to explain this the best way I can, or the simplest way. If you have a $300,000 home that you want to build, you can only pay look at the bottom right here on the housing prices rise exponentially, the home prices. So if you want to build a $250,000 house as a builder, you want to pay a maximum of $50,000 for that lot. Okay, but if I have to pay $60,000 for a lot, that's only a $10,000 increase in that lot. But now I have to charge $300,000 for that home to make it still be 20% of the total home price. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it exponentially increases, and that's
So
why this is so
basically-
dangerous. Like a $4,000 increase, we were talking about the road the road profile, that's a $20,000 house increase price. So it doesn't sound like a lot when you take away a couple lots and things like that, but only gonna raise the lot prices a couple $1,000s here and a couple $1,000s there, but all those couple $1,000s total into drastic affordability.
So basically, the builders have to meet a certain percentage of profit margin, and so to meet that percentage of profit margin, they have to up it by that much to account for only 20% of less on a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a general rule of thumb, and that's what NAHB shows, that builders try to pay between 13.7 and 21% of the total house price for their lot. And when you pay more than that, you're gonna make less profit, right? Or no profit in certain instances.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
That's right, self-explanatory.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all for coming out.
Excuse me, may I say something? I'm Greg Smith, not that's on the agenda or anything, but I've been building here, started pulling permits in Gulfport in 1986, started building new construction in 95, and these numbers are real. They're not just something that comes from Washington DC. These numbers are real for the builders here. That's all I want to say.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for coming today. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
It's called the guidelines.
Say it again?
Great economists. It tells us that the developer is building what our profit should be, what our cost of the home should be. But it is a real number that you're trying to make. It down here. We only shoot for about 15% profit. If you want to get some good data, the Evans was a really good.
The Evans?
The Evans guidelines.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. something you go out there, it reduces the cost of water. So that's what's driving the
If it's the price of the area, the comps support that this is what they're
Still have to figure it out. Do a committee. But I think something. Caution.
All right. I'd like to recognize Mykola Chervinka to discuss his claim regarding damages to his vehicle's windshield on Canal Road on October 22nd.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. My name is Michael Chervinka. Address is 18040 Evergreen Drive, and I'm here today because of damage to my vehicle sustained while traveling southbound. So on October 22nd at approximately 0900 in the morning, I was headed to Mississippi University, and my vehicle was struck with a rock very severely that it's pretty much sent a crack across my windshield right away. And the weed whacker was operated by a county worker. And I'm here today to see if respectfully request the damages be covered. This is my first time, I'm sorry. I've never done this before, so.
Are you military?
Former, yes ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you for your support.
Is the investigator here for the report? Couple questions. Were the signs out?
Yes, sir.
Okay, generally.
Generally, it has to show that the county employee was negligent in some manner, so the guards are on the weed eater and the signs out to give you an opportunity to go another direction rather than risk getting hit by a rock, so.
So if I might add to that regarding the signs, so I didn't see any of the signs because the first sign, so I had to drive a couple times to see the weed whacker. So I saw the first sign traveling southbound behind the Lennon Road, so a little bit north. So I saw that one, but I didn't see the one past the construction zone because during that time, the constructors workers were present doing some road work. And the second time I drove through just to kind of see where the signs was once I spoke regarding the issue, it was right on the right side, but you couldn't see it because it was right there, right after the construction in a shaded area where you couldn't see it. So I drove the first time past it and I couldn't see it, and it happened pretty much right before the sign, that last sign on that side that I saw. If that makes sense, I can elaborate a little bit better.
I just don't know what else you do. Maybe you could tell, how would the county, you gotta mow the grass, you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
You gotta weed eat it, you can't do it at night.
Well, the county worker he wasn't weed eating on the grass. He was weed eating on the concrete where the curb meets the pavement, essentially. I'm assuming that was a little patch of grass sticking out, and that's where it happened. So it wasn't actually weed eating the grass. It was weed eating on that part where concrete meets the road.
Are you saying that he was working outside of where the signs were placed?
No, sir.
Okay.
You just didn't see them where they were.
Well, I'm not sure how many signs there's supposed to be posted, but I saw the first sign. The second sign, he was literally working on the sign, so I'm not sure if that was within the area where the signs were posted, or if that was a little bit past the area where the signs were posted. Because going northbound, the signs were posted in a different area. There was one posted right a lot further than the one that was posted going southbound. So it was weird because the two signs weren't posted exactly, essentially the same distance.
Did you have insurance for your windshield?
I did not, sir. No. I have insurance in my vehicle, but not the windshield, no, sir.
It's up to the board. There has to be some act of negligence for board have authority to pay it. I'm just not sure what you do other than put signs up and have the guards in place to keep it.
Unfortunately, he didn't see it.
And unfortunately, this is a state law that says that there has to be some type of proof of negligence.
Or doesn't have authority under the law to pay it unless they found that there was some act of negligence by the county employee. Unfortunately, this is one of those situations where my windshield's busted right now, so it's not from the county, but some rock hit it from somewhere, I don't even know where it came from.
Okay.
So it's just one of those things that it's unfortunate. The board doesn't have any authority to pay a claim unless you show some act of negligence on the part of the county employee. You know, if the guards are on the weed eater and he's doing what he's supposed to do, and they put signs out to warn the public so that if they choose, if you see the sign, it's a big orange sign, I'm not sure how we didn't see it, but that's not my question. Big orange sign that says proceed at your own risk. So when you choose to go forward, you take a risk that a rock may get thrown. That's the reason the sign's there, to give you a chance to decide to go a different direction. I'm not sure what else the county could do. If you have a suggestion, we'd love to hear it.
Well, I also like to add, since I came to Mississippi, since I was stationed over here in the CB Bay since 2019, I've never had any issues with my windshield being broken at all from previous places that I went. But just being alone in Mississippi, I've had it happen to me 4 times. The first time it happened, I went and got repaired. That same day I picked up my vehicle, I was traveling westbound on I-10, and literally that same day I picked up my vehicle, my windshield got hit and it got cracked again. So I'm just it's bad luck for me, but
Mine was replaced a week later.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, I'm so sorry.
No worries, it's okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
We do appreciate your service.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I make a motion.
Ken's made the
Oh, he's making.
Okay, we need a second.
Okay.
Discussion.
Can I tell them real quick, y'all did a form for filing this claim a couple of years ago, and that form needs to be used when they're submitting the claim if you can. It asks them to tell us why they think the county's responsible.
Yeah, I think you do, your office does.
You go out there and make the claim, you hand them the sheet of paper, they fill out that sheet of paper and
Right.
bring it to my office with 2
So
estimates.
just need to follow that.
Well, I tell them to write a statement.
So are we doing away with the statement, they're using that paper as their statement?
Well, this is what, you wrote a letter, is what
Yeah.
it looks like here, which is okay.
Which is, I mean, I always stand, I don't have a phone with it.
Well, if you'll send me an email, I'll send you the form.
Okay.
Okay, we'll get it to
Is
you.
it-
I always gotta write this.
I need to give them the name, the grass.
You might have a point there.
Okay.
You might have a point.
Okay,
I think Carolyn's the one that, helped him with it.
Okay.
sorry, I don't think I voted.
They do, but I didn't get them.
It was.
Ken,
Ken.
pass.
All in favor? Motion carries. All right, recognize Frank Bordeaux, Gallagher Insurance.
Yep, so, our all lines of aggregate, liability coverage is coming up for 12/31. I will be at the, 12/16 meeting to present that. We're still waiting on some numbers, as far as our all lines aggregate is concerned. One line of coverage that we've been working on trying to get, for quite some time is our cyber liability. We've worked with, y'all's staff and y'all's, IT folks, and we were finally able to get a quote. We've gotten quotes in the past that are extremely expensive and very poor coverage. We do have a really good quote in hand now that has good coverage. I think the premium's a third of what it was previously. And so y'all's staff has done a fantastic job of getting information and putting policies and procedures in place in order to get that quote. So we'll have that on 12/16
Frank,
as
I'm
well.
not that familiar with all that stuff, but if we do, if the county, for lack of a better way to put it, has good firewall with the technology, does that help us? I mean.
Big time. Well, we couldn't get, a year ago when the topic was talked about it was a little over a year ago. We couldn't get coverage because we didn't have some of the controls in place. A lot of those controls, some of them we had in place, we just didn't know we had them in place. But we were able to put together a full submission. We got everything, we got all the carriers put together with a narrative of what Harrison County is doing. Obviously, that's this coverage is unlike any other coverage, really, is you really don't want to put out there all the controls you do have in place. And so it's very sensitive, but we not only got, you know, a really good option, we got several very good options. And so on 12/16, but just, you know, last year, the best quote we could get was $136,000. For much better coverage, it's $25,104. And so that's, putting that narrative together is very helpful. And then another, you know, item I want to talk to you all about, and I talked to Sheriff Peterson and Supervisor Cuevas about it before the meeting. The House bill that's traveling through Congress right now, 4996, has some really good parts as it relates to FEMA and their requirements of what they can and cannot do. They're spelling it out so it can't really, in statute, so they can't really change from administration to administration. But there's also some very troubling parts of the legislation, and we're going to plan on going up to DC in January to talk to, but we've already talked to our delegation. Our delegation knows some of the issues. The big issue is the threshold is rising. And so we went back, our agency went back from 2008 and looked at every declared event since 2008 in the United States, and 71% of those events would not be covered any longer. Our big two, you know, Katrina would obviously be covered, and Zeta would have been covered. So a lot of ours on the coast would have been covered. But it also specifies that the share, their commitment would be 75%. Where in the past, it was kind of administration by administration. Sometimes they cover 100%, sometimes they cover 80%. It specifies at 75%. So at least we know where we're coming from.
That uncertainty creates problems as far as our insurance. They're gonna,
well,
the cost.
What we know now is what the playing field is, and so our goal through Coast Gulf Pro, the program that we all joined, is to look at a parametrics product that would cover, and we're looking at 3 different triggers: wind speed being a trigger, height of water being a trigger, and then the third trigger is something that hasn't been done yet, and that is cubic yards of debris. And so I think that's something we can quantify. We're really good at quantifying it. The carriers have just never been asked to do that. And so we're working on that. We're going to have our property renewal is going to be a very good renewal. We're going to have another rate decrease. We just got back from London. They're going to, we're looking at adding some coverages to the program with a rate decrease. And so we're going to have a really good renewal. This parametrics would be on top of that and be a separate thing, and it's something a lot of coastal communities are starting to look at. And basically, whether there's damage or not damage, if a trigger's hit, the policy pays. And so this would be more for our match of what we would have to match FEMA in a natural disaster, is what we're talking about.
The fact that we've been fortunately dodging the bullet for the last several years in reference to serious storms, does that help?
Yeah, the insurance market did phenomenal this year. From reinsurance carriers did phenomenal. Reinsurance started off the first quarter because fires in California at a 21% loss of revenue. By now, currently they're at 9% gain in revenue. So they paid out the California losses. They already know what they're going to pay, and they're still going to have about a 9% profit. That's the worldwide reinsurance market. But you also have so many new players coming into the insurance market. The domestic carriers are coming down on rate. So we're going to see rate decrease this year. Just nothing special I'm doing. Not that we didn't get hit. They just made money. Yeah.
How much did that cyber's insurance cost?
So the cyber is 25,104, but I'm gonna bring y'all a list of all the coverages that it was, because last year when I presented the 136,000, I told y'all I wouldn't buy
I
it.
thought you said 136.
136.
I think it was.
It was.
Last year was 136,000.
I'm not sure that's not exempt under the tort claim act, the reason I asked.
Correct. And it's in a lot of financial institutions are starting to ask public entities whether they have cyber. It's starting to become a bigger deal. Opposite of the property market's decreasing. The cyber market, you're seeing a consolidation of books. People are getting out of the business. You're seeing less capacity. So that in the U.S. And so you're going to see that continue to rise. But $25,000 compared to $136,000. But this policy actually has coverages. Last year, I told y'all not to buy it because you're paying $136,000 and it didn't cover you for anything. I mean, it's just a bad policy.
Frank, with the cyber insurance, does it require us certain firewall standards? Do we
Yes.
okay, let's talk about that.
The big thing is your multi-function authenticity that everybody hates. But that is the big deal. But y'all's firewalls, the controls y'all have in place, and again, typically don't talk about that. You don't want everybody in the
Right.
world to know.
But we meet
what
the
y'all-
standards.
Yes. Last year, y'all did not, even though y'all were doing what y'all were supposed to be doing, we didn't have the data. So, yeah.
Thank
you. So, I will see y'all on 12/16. I'll be briefer.
Thank you. Thanks, Frank. All right, I recognize Brett Bird.
Frank, can you get that to me before Tuesday, please?
Yeah.
I just want Jeremy to.
Yeah, we'll get together on Monday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, good morning, how are y'all?
Good morning.
All right. Wish I had as good a news as Frank has. Obviously, we're here, on the agenda, there's several things. John, want a copy too? That we need to discuss, and some of this is kind of a bleed over from the last meeting where we need to get some resolution. So the top page on this is really just a summary of everything, and we can kind of hit it, highlight it, and have some discussion around each of it. I apologize, they're sticking together. Get two of them.
Brett, we have an extra one down here if you need one.
Need an
Okay.
extra one, I can.
I've got plenty of them, so. Yeah. So I believe the things were up for discussion. We do have to get some kind of resolution for the reinsurance renewal, which comes up for 1/1. If you look at the second page, we're recommending to stay where you are with Reunion Health. It is slightly more than the UME quote that we have. However, if you look at the third page, you'll see the declines and who actually quoted it and who didn't. I'm not very familiar with UME. We talked with the MGU, the general underwriter. They've got very little business with them. Knowing what we know about Reunion, we've had a lot of claims over the years and they've paid every time. Some of them could be gray area claims where they say, well, we need to see FMLA, things like that. But all the protocols are followed. UME, we don't know what kind of disclosures they're going to put out and everything else. So just from a comfort level, even though it's about $64,000 more per year than what the renewal is, if you have a $400,000 claim and they refuse to pay it, that's going to cost a lot more in the long run. So I'm recommending the renewal to go with, stay with Reunion Health Services. Claims paid in the last 12 months.
If I may, I had to interrupt you. But
Yeah, go ahead.
For example, if the reinsurance folks decide not to pay it, what kind of appeal or what can we do about that? Because, I mean, it's obvious that the amount was met, the trigger was met for the reinsurance.
To kick in, correct.
To kick in.
Yep.
And what, if they say, your example, $400,000 and they say, we're not gonna pay it, what do we do? Do you appeal that?
Have to appeal it.
How do we?
Show proof. Typically, the reinsurance and the TPA work hand in hand. The TPA obviously has to get approval on certain things, which they do. and then the reinsurance says, okay, we'll cover this. So there are instances out there where if somebody was not actively at work, shouldn't have been on the plan or should have been off a plan for months, but stayed on the plan where, okay, that shouldn't have happened, but it's not your negligence. It was somebody within the department. They'll still pay the claim. And we've seen that happen with other groups, not within Harrison County. I've had it happen in the private sector on groups where somebody forgot to remove somebody from a plan or a dependent shouldn't have been covered and it was a major claim, but they went ahead and paid the claim anyway.
Even though
they didn't have to.
Legally, they wouldn't.
That's
have
correct.
to.
And so without the knowledge of this company, because they are new to the market, they are an A-rated carrier, they check all the boxes. I just don't feel comfortable endorsing them, but I want to put that out there for y'all to know that, hey, it's on the table. It does save a little more money on the renewal. There's an increase no matter what, just because claims were bad this year. So that's the lesser of two evils. But I think just from where I'm standing, knowing what could happen, that's who I recommend going with, is staying with Reunion Health Services. So, and again, if y'all look at the third page, just to know that we kind of covered the market, we went to 19 different carriers. One of them quoted, which was UME. You got your renewal from the current carrier, and 18 declined.
Why did they decline?
Because they can't get enough premium to support. They're saying, hey, we'd have to charge so much.
Okay.
And I can get some detailed from them. We have a list of a few saying, hey, we're 500% above current rates. Our manual rates are a lot higher out the gate, so plus what we'd have to throw in there. And just kind of some background with Reunion, we've been with them since basically started self-funding. So they've got a lot of knowledge of y'all. But this year alone, in the last 12 months, they've paid back over $1 million, $1,059,000 to be exact. And so they're asking for a premium moving forward of $1,091,000. So they're basically breaking even year over year. So just with that being said, again, there is a difference in cost between the two. But the highlighted one in the middle is the one I recommended renewing with.
What's the likelihood if the premiums paid are less this year that they would go back down on the premium?
So right now, if you look at the first column, your expected attachment point, that's your 100% mark. That's the break even. This last year, that's where they set you and expected you to land this year.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the net, if everything plays out, you get no more reinsurance reimbursements, nothing else comes back, and don't have a real bad December, you're tracking at about 9.56. So that number was off a little bit. And if you use that middle number that's expected going forward this year, they've got it at 10.1. There's a good chance you could come under that, but that's where they expect it. That would represent in a fully insured world like a 7% increase. So as bad of a year as you've had, most renewals we're getting on the fully insured side, the best one we've got is 10%. So they're going a lot of them are higher. And a lot of it is because you can control things. And so some of the next things we're going to talk about that y'all can vote on, whether you want to do it or not, they're optional. It'll help soften that number some even more.
Okay. Any questions? Any questions? All right.
All right. Next item was the Counter Health. So ProAct partners with Counter Health. And this is actually, I'm sorry, it's out of order. So we'll jump, if you go to the third page, this is the change for the formulary. So the projected savings on doing this is $558,000, and that's based on every prescription that ran through today. If we change the PDL, which is the formulary, moving forward, then it's projected to save $558,000, and that's through enhanced rebates and also just some of the drugs that everybody's taking right now, and not everybody, 3% of your population are taking drugs that they have alternatives for that cost less. So it's not, when we moved from fully insured to self-funded, what we did not want to do is have anybody harmed. So the thing was, we don't want the employees to have to jump through hoops. We don't want them to get uncomfortable and create a lot of noise around it and make an easy transition for them. Now we're 3-4 years into this, and the prescription drugs are not getting any cheaper. and all the other plans out there in the market, this is what they have in place. So we've kind of had those years where you said, okay, you just go take, the thing is, those commercials you see with 90 minutes long that have all the jingles, those drugs are getting prescribed more and more by the doctors. Well, there's another one over here that costs $15,000 less that does the same exact thing. So we're not saying you can't be on the most expensive drug. It's just saying now, hey, you need to try the other ones first. Some of the therapeutic alternatives, check on those. Get the doctors that you're currently taking. Anybody that's on a life-saving medication now, they're not going to lose that.
But you're saying that if the doctor says, that's what I'm willing to take.
Then at the plan level, the plan's saying now, no, you got to try this one first because it costs a lot less.
Yeah.
So, and the pharmacy knows that when the prescription goes through. So it's not the employee's going to show up and say, wait, I can't get medication. They're just going to say, no, you have to take this one. And if it's an excluded drug, something that's one of those, there's a lot of like compound creams out there on the market that cost a lot of money. Most of those are going to be excluded, and they'll know that when they prescribe it right away. So all this really changes is it's taking some of the higher costs and saying you've got to go and find a lower cost solution first. Anybody that's on a drug currently right now that may fall into that category, they've got 90 days. Their doctor, they'll get a notification in the mail, a phone call, and then they've got 90 days to get with their doctor and say, hey, this drug they're telling me no longer is going to be covered. We can either appeal it or they prescribe them something different.
Brett, do you find that most drugs do have a generic alternative?
A lot of them do. Some of these,
Most, some, a lot. What would you say?
95, 96% do.
Good.
I mean, a lot of the ones you see on TV, they're coming up with multi-uses for now, so they're finding a new patent. But if you take that drug that takes care of diabetes and this drug that takes care of that, the combined uses of two or a tenth of what one of those costs. So, yeah. So again, there's no added cost to do it. We just have to flip the switch. And we felt like it's something that needed to be voted on. If we went to any other carrier today, this is what would be in place if we change it.
We'll have a mechanism to inform our employees.
We will.
Of this.
And again, if there's something out there and the doctor says, look, we've tried all of it, then the plan will allow them to stay on it. So we're not trying to harm anybody. And again, it's built to going forward. Instead of somebody getting right into an Ozempic or Skyrizi or one of the most expensive drugs, they're going to start with something cheaper to begin with.
To Marlon's excellent point about the mechanism, Dusty, is this something that you would work hand in hand with her to make sure that every single employee understands their options, their rights, and that they sign something saying that they understand it?
We can do that.
We have to do that. That's to me, the
They'll
only
get a
mechanism.
communication and it'll be date stamped that they got the communication.
And that they understand.
Correct.
And then follow up with the decisions made. I just think it's imperative, to his point, we've got to help employees.
We've got the list with the names of the individuals on there that'll be affected. So
Okay.
not only will ProAct outreach to them, we'll do an outreach as well and just saying, look, and then we're here to help them.
But not only ones will be affected, every single employee, even if it's by video. I don't know how y'all want to do it.
Well, what you do typically, so like insurance companies do this all the time. They just change their formulary, prescription drug listing. So this year, all of a sudden, these aren't covered and these are covered. So we'll put it out there and maybe we just do a video that says, and then let everybody just say, hey, we understand that this is our new prescription drug listing, and they go from there.
And then Jeremy with IT can help y'all do, I've received this, I've seen the video, click.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we can do that.
thank you.
You're welcome. So, and then, again, if that was in place today, they're saying it would save $588,000, and that number moves all the time. And again, it's preventing bleeding out the back door. The last thing on there was the counter health. So this is an optional program for the employees. There's a lot of drugs you'll see on this back page. The projected savings could be up to $667,000 if everybody eligible to participate in this actually participate. We know, not to be naive, first year it's not going to be 100% compliant. If we could get 40% of the population to do it, then you're still saving $250,000, $300,000. And the beauty of this program, it does save the employees money. So these are drugs that they're on that are costing $100 every time they get it filled, but it's costing the county anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000, possibly more on some of them. And if you get them internationally, which I know that's the crazy part about it, it's CanRx.
If you get it shipped internationally straight to your door, it costs the county 1/10 of what it would on the other side. So that's where the projected savings comes in. The targeted drug classes you can see on the far right, and then when you see the savings type, that's either a therapeutic alternative or it's a mail order drug they're getting now that they had sent in from internationally. It's a lot cheaper. So it's pretty much cutting. A lot of these drugs are already coming in international. They're just going to a specialty pharmacy within the states, then being shipped in. They're getting marked up, essentially. So, and we know that, and I know Trump's working on legislation to get out all the pricings equal across the board. So, again, but for now, with this in place, it is $3 PM, which is projected to be about $48,000 annually. However, if this program does not save the county at least $48,000, they reimburse you all the money back. So the $3 is a charge because Counter's a partnership with them, and they're sending out the communication. They're opening up a portal for the employees. It's basically a way for them to get paid for the system there for the employees to
When
utilize.
the employees doing this, does it affect the pharmacy that they're using?
Not particularly in these. If some of them, if they're getting it from their local pharmacy and they end up getting it from CounterRx, it could. But a lot of these drugs are really your high-end price drugs that are already coming in mail order from a specialty pharmacy. A lot of the stuff like we're getting locally, that's not really affected by this. There may be one or two on here that now they can get it mail ordered that they were picking up at the pharmacy. But again, it's going to save the employee $100. So if they have a relationship with their pharmacist, it's not being forced on them to do it, but it saves them money and it saves the county money.
People with pharmacies are much like with their doctors. They're comfortable with those.
That's right. And there's some people that won't want to do this at all, and that's okay. Again, it's just more, it's there for them to save money, and it's there for us to kind of encourage them that, hey, here's a place where everybody can save.
Do we need to make any motions today?
That's what I was gonna ask. Do we need a?
So we have
motion?
three things. Do we need to vote on these?
Also the insurance committee as well.
That's right. Okay. I didn't have that on the list. I wasn't sure if we want to talk about that today. This is just, I don't know that we necessarily need to vote on this today, maybe just kind of plant a seed. What we'd like to do, and we've talked about it in the past, and Bobby's on board with this, is try to put a committee together, maybe 5 people, 6 people, whatever number y'all feel comfortable with. Invite 1 or 2 of y'all at a time to sit in and meet 6 times a year to discuss claims, discuss plan design, discuss anything that's going on around the plan itself, the good, the bad, the indifferent, and just have a meeting agenda and work off those items each time we meet. And so that way when we come or y'all get informed of things, it's not once or twice a year and it just looks like a big number that, we could actually be addressing some of this as we go. So we do this in a lot of other groups. It goes well. But again, it's up to y'all who you want to appoint to that committee. We'll just be a bystander, but if you want to give them voting power on plan changes, things like that, that's something y'all may want to discuss.
They would be recommending to us,
Yeah,
not voting power.
That's right, or making
committee.
recommendations direct to you, correct. So that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think the 3 things we could go ahead and get a motion on, the pharmacy.
Reinsurance.
The
The reinsurance, we definitely need to get a vote on
I'll make a
that.
motion to approve,
Going back with,
to the, what was the
United.
company,
Same with reunion.
Reunion Health
Yep.
Services for our reinsurance.
we have a motion,
Second.
second discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, do we want to,
Right.
on the second, ProAct?
ProAct.
Ready to go that route, okay?
I would.
He's making a motion on that.
Second.
Second discussion on that, all in favor? Motion carries. And then on the, going from formulary to open, from open to advantage.
That's right.
I need a motion on that. Motion.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor? Motion carries.
Thank y'all, appreciate it.
Thank you, Brad.
Thanks, Brett. Hope you vote,
Appreciate it.
everybody.
Appreciate it.
Need a motion on the consent agenda, items 7 through 19. Motion. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 20, acknowledging receipt of and approving petitions for decreases to the 25 property roll. Motion.
Second.
Discussion, All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 21, order acknowledging receipt of and approving petitions for decreases to the 23-24 real property roll.
Motion. Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Number 22, order approving change order 2, DNA Underground LLC for ARPA MCWI Highway 67 Tradition Area Sewer Expansion.
Motion. Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Order approving change order 2 with LJ Construction for the ARPA MCWI Fire Tower Road System improvement project in the amount of $37,573.25.
10 additional days. So moved.
Second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Number 24, order approving change order 4 with Southern Colonial Construction LLC for ARPA Minge Avenue Sewer System Improvements for an amount of $1,948.58.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Order approving change order 3 with Southern Colonial Construction LLC for the ARPA MCWI Kiln DeLille Sewer System Improvements in the amount of $42,203.41.
Motion. Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Order authorizing the execution of budget modifications for MDEQ MCWI grants 341-2-DW-5-1.15 Canal Road Water and County Farm and Land and Sewer to transfer funds not used in 341 prior to project closeout to 347.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Order accepting the maintenance of the following roads for Crystal Lake subdivisions, 2A and 2B, location in Section 12, Township 7, in Voting District 2.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Order approving joint funding agreement between the U.S. Geological Survey and Harrison County for the operations of Wolf River, Biloxi River, and Chutica Bluff River flood detention stream gauges in Harrison County for fiscal year 26. This agreement is October 1st through September 30th, 2026, in the amount of $30,750 from Harrison County and $3,000 from USGS for a combined total of $33,750.
Motion. Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Order concurring with the Planning Commission's decision to approve. We'll go ahead. Yes.
Good morning. I have a minor change I need to do to item 31, so zoning's gonna recommend concurring with the Planning Commission recommendations for cases 29, 30, 32, and 33.
Motion. Second.
Second.
Motion second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 31, adding the sentence, the Planning Commission recommendation is to rezone to O1, not C1.
O1?
O1.
What is O1?
O1 is a transitional zoning from commercial to residential where you can do medical offices.
Okay.
And that's what they're recommending to do. It's a tiny little building on Main.
That's not the one we discussed earlier, is it? That with the person who applied was on Minge Avenue?
Oh, no, that's a different.
That's a different.
Yeah, that's up further adjacent to
I
the
know
insurance
what
office.
this is.
This is the old Satchfield Grocery.
Is what?
It used to be Satchfield's Grocery on Minge, right there by Pineville School.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Need a motion?
Motion.
Yes.
Second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Number 34, order approving and authorizing the memorandum. We're removing 34?
Judge sent an email.
Okay.
I would go ahead and deny that.
Okay.
I don't think he's gonna put it back on there, so I wouldn't table it, I would just go
All right. Approving and authorizing MOU between New Allies and Division of Youth Villages in Harrison County and Jackson County.
at the request of Judge Dickinson.
At the request of Judge
Should be
Dickinson.
denied.
Motion to deny.
Denied. Okay, second. Anyone?
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Order concurring with the county administrator on employment as listed.
Motion. Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Number 36, 6, order accepting the lowest and best bid from Bucket Machinery in the amount of $283,519.63 for the purchase of a new Weller P385C asphalt track paver.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Order accepting the lowest and best bid from Lyle Machinery in the amount of $508,785 for the purchase of a new Griffin W1205TI milling machine.
Motion.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Order accepting the lowest and best bid from Truckworks in the amount of $142,296 for the purchase of a new tandem axle dump truck.
Motion.
Second discussion. This is not the lowest bid.
It's the best bid.
This is, but before I vote on it, I'd like to know why. Because it's the third highest bid. There were 3 bids under it. That was
The specs on one were for a standard transmission, and that company only could bid a, automatic transmission. But on a jump truck, we want a standard transmission.
Was that the case for all the other, the
No,
3?
no, the other one was, there was 2 other issues in there. I don't know where Judy, is Judy here? But there were several items that were not matching in the specs.
Well, they didn't meet the specifications.
Correct.
They should have been told that.
Correct.
Were they told that?
Correct, yes.
Okay. All right. I just need
Yeah.
clarification
There
on
were,
that.
there were
because
several
there's-
things in there. I kind of jumped into that given the situation, not knowing. And so it took some
So
time.
you're comfortable?
Yes, sir.
With that they
Yes,
did
sir.
not meet the specifications?
Yes, sir.
And if they had met the specifications?
Yes, sir.
It would
Yes,
be
sir.
more competitive.
Correct.
And that's the lowest and best bid.
It's the
Lowest and
best,
best.
correct.
Lowest and
That,
best.
that met the specs.
Yeah, right.
That, I wanted to know why they.
Yes,
They
sir.
should, the bid just should have been thrown out that didn't meet.
Right.
That's
my question.
That's the
Well-
point, that kind of leads to confusion.
It's a piece of equipment, so you can make a decision, and I would recommend you find out that it may not be the lowest, but it's the lowest and best bid, because the other one did not meet all the
Well,
specifications.
that's, yeah,
That's
I
what it's
agree.
recommended.
That's what you're saying.
I agree with that, I just want
I
to
wouldn't
make
say it
sure.
just based on the fact you didn't do the specifications, it's just not the lowest and best bid.
But if it doesn't meet specifications, it should be
That's
thrown
the
out, so we can get
justification.
2 more bids that maybe are cheaper for us.
I agree.
There were about 5 bids in that, for that piece of equipment.
I
If
saw
I'm not
that.
mistaken, 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And the third one that we got to on there met the specifications for what we wanted.
And Tim, if you recall, I think on some trucks one time, we had the same thing, the bid was a little higher, but it was based on the fact that they could accommodate
Local
local
service.
service and all that, so. That's all, I'm not questioning, I just
Yeah.
want to make sure I knew why
Yes, sir.
they were.
Okay, all right, need a motion?
Motion.
Well, we already got that.
Oh, we voted already? No, we didn't vote.
Yeah.
We have a first and a second,
We have a
okay.
motion. And
All in- No other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Sheriff Peterson, Sheriff Haley?
Close.
Sheriff Peterson.
Total inmate count is 830, 102 misdemeanors, 10 federal inmates, 258 state inmates, 109 of those are ready to go. We've got 14 juveniles at the ADC, 14 at juvenile detention, 13 of those are ours, 1 Hancock County.
Thank you. Number 40, order authorizing the Chancery Clerk to issue a check in the amount of $13,500 for Robert Drace, Narcotics Division.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Order authorizing the Sheriff's Office to sell 1 Glock 17 9mm, serial number CEKG824, to retiring Officer Charles Socia.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Order authorizing and approving the replenishment of training petty cash in the name of Brandon Hendry in the amount of $4,000.
Motion. Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Order spreading upon the minutes the personnel changes of the Sheriff's Office as listed.
Motion.
Second. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Number 44, order removing Patrick Nehard, Sheriff's Office as Assistant Receiving Clerk.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Order approving the following vehicle purchases for the Sheriff's Office from State Contract Number 8200 0833340 for a total expenditure of $80,342.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Order approving and authorizing the engagement letter and contract for TMH CPA and consulting firm.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Order approving payment of claims listed.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Order authorizing quarterly premium payments of $248,113.25 to Mississippi Public Entity Workers' Comp Trust.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Order authorizing board president to sign the attached predecessor auditor letter in connection with fiscal year 24-25 financial statement.
Motion.
Second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Number 50, order approving payment of claims listed.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
51, order approving claims docket.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Order acknowledging receipt of monthly reports showing expenditures and liabilities incurred against each separate budget item.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
53, order approving request to proceed with 3 right-of-way acquisition surveys for the Landon Road Bridge Replacement Project.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Is Doug here?
Yeah.
Doug back there.
Are these easements we need along Landon Road where there are no easements currently?
That's correct.
So you're gonna have to deal with, you're gonna have to measure ditch to ditch and take that out of whatever surveys we discussed a while back.
Okay.
I mean, just measure from the edge of the ditch to the edge of the ditch, and that's public road by prescription. And it might even go to where the power lines are. But there's a problem here that these descriptions include
Would be leasing our own property.
Right.
lines that you've already got. And it's different, there's no written easements in there
Yeah.
anywhere on Landon Road that I know about.
Right.
Something
We'll take a
we've
look
got.
at it. We'll work with it, for sure.
I just don't want you to do that before we start doing appraisals, so
And Doug and I have discussed it, but just for the board, that's the alternate routes, once we stop that, a long way around, so. There's a contract to try to do the best you can with getting that done as quick as possible.
That's correct. And the design is a precast
Yeah.
system, so we'll,
He's been
It'll
good
be
at that.
fast.
Thank you, Doug.
Also
Yeah.
informing the businesses even before residents, because they have to make more
There's-
accommodations.
There's not that many businesses, I don't think.
Oh,
this is a
okay.
bridge replacement,
It's a
isn't it?
bridge.
Oh, it's the,
it's
okay, I was
west of-
thinking further
it's
down
west
Landon,
of,
okay, thank you.
No, really. No, I don't
thinking
think,
of
I don't
Landon.
think.
yeah,
the
it's a long
businesses
detour,
will
it
be
is.
impacted. It's mostly
And
the,
we'll let everybody know. I know the
Yeah.
county does a great job of
Around.
advertising that, but
There's already a bridge there, so most people probably
Yes.
have a problem anyway.
that's correct.
All in favor?
thank you, Doug.
Motion carries. 54, order approving change order number 1 to contract with J.W. Puckett and Company for the Harrison County Diversion Center and Health Department renovations, extending the contract by 36 days and increasing the amount by $33,057.30.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion, when is this, Tim, do you recall, when is this supposed to be?
I don't recall off the top of my
I
head.
don't either. I
Right
can't-
now. Let's see what it said. Maybe it says it back up.
That's all right, I just thought.
Dan, do you know the completion date's supposed to be?
No, what's the completion date on diversion center, building over there, do you know? Okay.
It should be on that change order, though, there should be a
Oh,
completion date and an
okay.
extension date.
Okay. Don't hold up on it. Go ahead.
It's supposed to be July 19th,
July.
and that'll move it to August 24th is what it
Yeah,
says.
okay.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Order approving supplemental agreement number 2 for lane construction, Canal and Landon Road intersection, the amount of $12,456.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Order approving the berth lease agreement between the City of Biloxi, Mississippi, Harrison County, Mississippi, and the Harrison County Sheriff's Department for dock space and small
Motion.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Number 57, order adjudicating the tax sales of August 26th and August 25th, 26, 2024, and August 25th, 2025 on tax parcel number 1110G-02-007.002 for 23 and 24 taxes erroneous and thus void ab initio.
Motion.
Second. Discussion. All in favor?
Sorry, I was reading. Oh, this is tax, these were both where the deed was filed but wasn't picked up. It qualifies to be set aside.
Okay.
Sorry.
58, order adjudicating the appointment of Board Attorney Tim Holloman and Boyce Holloman Associates to represent Harrison County and the Board of Supervisors in a litigation matter listed below.
Motion. Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
59, order authorizing and approving.
Congratulations.
Wasn't much to it.
Order authorizing and approving the use of D'Iberville Civic Center by the City of D'Iberville for cruising the coast on October 4th through 12th. Terms to the interlocal government cooperation agreement.
Motion. Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
60, order authorizing and approving the use of the D'Iberville Civic Center by the City of D'Iberville for the 11th Annual Barbecue Throwdown and Festival on March 26th through 30th, 2026, pursuant to the terms of the interlocal government cooperation agreement between the city and Harrison County.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Order approving auction agreement with Jeff Martin Auctioneers.
Motion.
Second. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Order approving contract modification for professional services between Harrison County and Southern Mississippi Planning Development District and authorizing the board president to execute the same.
Motion. Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
63, order adjudicating the employment of Tim C. Holloman and Boyce Holloman Associates to represent Harrison County and the Harrison County Board of Supervisors, and Virgil Gillespie to represent the Harrison County Zoning Department and himself in the litigation matter listed below.
Motion. Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Just so the board will know, this probably may get resolved in the planning commission hearing this week anyway, so there's nothing much to it.
Okay.
What?
Mr. Vaughn filed a pro se complaint in the federal court over some zoning and building code issues, and there's a hearing set this week.
Next week.
Next week?
18th.
The 18th, so it may get resolved at that hearing anyway. There's not much to it.
64, order approving travel as listed.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And on those, anyone that's planning to attend those events needs to let Selena know so that she can, or any of those events, need to let Selena know so that she can book.
Just so the board knows, if I go, I'll pay my own way. That's my mistake for the county. I doubt I'm going, but
You just know everything.
it's too cold up there.
Number 65. Order authorizing expenditures as listed pursuant to Mississippi Code 17-3-1. It's necessary to advertise and bring into favorable notice opportunities, possibilities, and resources of Harrison County, Mississippi.
Motion.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor?
No.
Sorry. Any opposed?
No.
Okay, we got 4-1. Mr. Ladner's in opposition. All right. Sheriff Haley.
I don't have anything.
Nothing?
Had to, Parks and Recreation, increase, from 60,000 to 65,000 for the record. We talked about it in the executive session, but we wanted to bring it up.
Okay. Is there anyone that wants to discuss that, or someone want to make a motion on that?
I'll make a motion.
All right, have a second?
Second.
Okay, have a second on that. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right.
The other is, Keith Hurd with Key Impact Strategies. The contract expires.
That's to save the sound.
Save the
Save the Sound, but the contract with him is for Save the Sound, but it's with Key Impact Strategies. lobbying, we're paying him, the contract expired, it was renewed to February of 2025. We have been paying him monthly, even though the contract expired. So I'm asking you guys, do you want to continue that and adjudicate that contract? So when we discovered this through a bill, we stopped payment and haven't made that payment. He was paid outside of the contract up until a certain point. So we either want to go back and adjudicate it, that's for the board to decide at this point.
Just don't pay him, he won't miss it. He's got so much money.
Yeah. The only thing that I would say is that at least for a while, continue if the board, request the board to continue. There are some things happening, a couple things we're working on, especially getting a hearing down here, one of the congressional hearings on the coast speaking, concerns about the sound and the legislation at Lower Mississippi River, a study which is legislation, paid by federal government fully, but with the budget cuts in Washington, that has been pulled, so that adversely affects our issues with Save the Sound and the Corps of Engineers. So at least for a while, I would suggest that I think we need Keith in Washington especially. So my recommendation would be to the board to continue that for at least.
It would be until
For some
February of
time,
26.
And I can assure you that as soon as I feel like we're wasting, there's no need for it again, I'll tell you.
I'm good with that, I'll make that motion.
Second. But it would only be good until February of 2026? I think it's in Julie's office.
I looked for the contract Saturday, but I couldn't find it from home.
I think it's coming from Julie's office.
The one that expired in October of 25.
That would take us to October of this year.
Renew the contract for one more year.
Yeah.
February of 26.
Yeah, I assume in that contract there is we can get out of it by notice.
I couldn't find it over the weekend.
I found it, it's not.
It does We're gonna not. definitely
have to have that now.
Well, this right here is only through February of 26.
Correct.
So what we can do is when we renew this in February, we can put the language in there that,
Yes.
the contract can be terminated by any party at any time or something,
Yeah.
whatever the legal.
I think we need
Why
to
not just go ahead and renew the contract now and add in there provision that subject to the board's discretion to terminate the contract, and we'll send it to him, he's probably not gonna disagree with it anyway.
Okay, are y'all good with that?
Yeah.
Are
And
we doing
add
now?
it in there, we'll add that to the.
I think we
renewal
need to also add, Tim, to be honest with you, that's $10,000 a month. We need to include in there some sort of invoice. I don't know how lobbyists can do it, but we need something in the invoice indicating what he does for us.
Yeah,
That's an excellent point. It's called itemized.
We did that last time and they had a heart attack because I forget what it was a previous lobbying group, and what they said was, if you put in there who we're meeting with and who we're talking to, they won't talk to you.
That doesn't fly.
No.
You could say 2 hours in
Yeah, I got
person
probably
with
just-
3
Depends on how much
legislators.
detail you want.
It doesn't have to be in
No,
much
that's just-
detail, but it could be some
Dates.
time,
That has to be
date
filed
and
with the
time that
Secretary of
they
State's
deal with
office
that.
anyway. If they take them out to dinner or anything, all that has to be
Understand.
filed. They have to file that they're.
I'm just telling you what they said last night, this was a previous, I don't remember the name of that group.
Telling that argument doesn't work.
I can't buy that we.
Just, all we have to do is ask for a monthly report accompanied with the
You
invoice.
don't need names.
Itemized.
You don't need
Something-
names, you want like, maybe 3 legislators.
Right.
Something indicating the time of the work that he's doing for Save the Sound.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor on that? Motion carries. Okay, anything else, Mr. Trustclair?
No, the executive session.
Mr. Close?
No, nothing else.
We need an executive session.
Did somebody say we needed one?
Bobby did.
Yes.
Oh, you do?
On
Okay.
personnel matter, or?
Yes.
Yeah, but we're gonna come back to that. Let's go around and that way we can finish up.
So mine is just a happy note. I'm thrilled and so excited to be in Starkville Saturday night to watch Gulfport High School for the first time in history become state champions, and we are so excited. It was truly a Hail Mary with a miracle ending. Hunter, you did a great job covering it, so on behalf of my senior at Gulfport and all those students and children that worked so hard, congratulations to wonderful Gulfport High.
Not anything.
I had more fun watching Hunter screaming.
Miss Powers, there's a parade today, isn't there?
I don't know.
It is. Yes, I have it.
4:30.
4:30? Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we need to do a proclamation for them as well.
Yeah.
At some point.
And the thing about it is, see if we can get it done by next, Monday.
Oh, for
Otherwise,
the
it's Wednesday.
16th,
Yeah, we
yeah.
could do it on the 16th.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do that, then
Football
can y'all
season long gone.
get them the coach?
Yeah, you're right.
Hunter, is that the
Okay,
Christmas
you know the
parade?
coach?
Or no? There's a Christmas parade today.
Tricia can put something together.
There's
Okay.
state championship
Wait,
parade.
yeah.
The city posted it on,
Okay.
Do you want to go ahead and adopt the resolution today, or just do it on Monday?
I just saw the Christmas parade today.
yeah.
Well, we could adopt it today so you can, yeah, so you can have it.
Yeah, so we can get it from.
Okay,
And Kent's gonna reach out to the coach.
all right, so
So I'll make a I'm sorry. A motion for a resolution to commend Gulfport football team for their state championship win, first time in history.
Okay.
Second that.
Okay. Discussion, all in favor? Motion carries.
Do I have to mention start in Vegas?
Not at all.
Just kidding, I don't mind. I enjoyed
So
going to
this
start
one, we
Vegas
can get
last
matted
couple
in
weeks
orange,
ago.
right?
Yes, let's do it. Blue
All right.
ink, matted in orange.
All right, Angela, do you have anything? You didn't.
No, I don't have anything.
Tim?
I don't have anything.
All right. I need a motion to go to executive session or discuss personnel. issues.
Personnel matter, I'll have to specify the department.
I'm sorry.
What department?
The board asked to go into executive session to
That
discuss
was the last
engineering
one, I forgot
department.
about that.
Okay.
And then I do have two other items also that need to be dealt
Or
with.
personnel matters, or?
Former personnel.
Yeah, I want to go into, let's go into closed session so we can discuss the reason for
Yeah.
executive
It's
session.
too sensitive.
Okay.
There you go.
So we need a motion to go into closed session to discuss the reasons to go into executive session.
Okay.
Motion.
Everybody's got to get out.
Okay. Motion. I need a second.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?